Hey you guys, thank you for tuning back into my channel, and if you're new, welcome. So today we're doing like a part 2 to the video that I just posted last week. Pause. If you haven't watched the video, click the link down below, watch the video, then come back so you can be caught up. I shared how I experienced an ectopic pregnancy back in February, and I actually had people messaging me, like asking me questions or sharing with me like how they have been struggling to get pregnant and stuff like that, or like how they knew someone who experienced an ectopic pregnancy. And they were also very encouraging because that, you know, even though they had experienced an ectopic pregnancy, they were now expecting or they had a baby after. So first of all, thank you guys so much for watching that video, and thank you guys for the feedback. I didn't expect that when I posted the video. I really just was like sharing with you guys why I hadn't been on YouTube, but I'm glad that it opened up a conversation. And so yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. So I just want to address some of the questions and some of the topics that I received from that video. And so we'll just get right into it. So one of the main questions that I did get was, what causes an ectopic pregnancy and how do you prevent it? Or like what causes for infertility issues? Okay, so this is gonna be like educational for like 2 minutes, and then we'll get into like the really good stuff. But I did want to address this because quite a few people asked me this. So there's like a whole plethora of things that can cause infertility in women. It could just be like defects. It could be that she doesn't ovulate. It could be that she has fibroids, cancer, it's a whole thing when it comes to infertility. Now, when it comes to an ectopic pregnancy specifically, doctors don't know what actually causes an ectopic pregnancy. Therefore, there's not one thing that they can tell you to do or not to do that will prevent it. The main ones is going to be some type of defect in your fallopian tube. So there could be like a blockage, or there are like these hair-like structures that help to move the egg along down into the uterus. And if a woman doesn't have enough of those structures, there may not be enough force to move the egg along and implant into the uterus. Therefore, it'll just implant into the fallopian tube and cause an ectopic pregnancy. There could be like a blockage where it can't go around. That can cause an ectopic pregnancy. Also, I read a few times that having an IUD, which is an intrauterine device, it's a form of birth control, having that may cause an ectopic pregnancy. And just for the record, I did have an IUD for 5 years. I'm not saying that that's the cause, but it could have been, who knows. Another possible cause is having a history of an ectopic pregnancy. So I've actually never had an ectopic pregnancy before, so you know, it was just my first time. But because I did have one, my chances of having another is higher. However, because I don't have the fallopian tube in which the ectopic pregnancy took place, then I guess my chances are not as high, because I can only get pregnant from my left fallopian tube, which appears to be healthy with no blockage and things like that. So who knows? Again, we don't know what actually causes it, so I can't even tell you like what to do to prevent it. Ooh, a good question that I got is, how am I coping? That was a really good question. And so like I said in the last video, I had experienced a miscarriage, so I felt like I was better equipped than my husband to deal with it. So I was really focused on like just being strong for him. But personally, I'll share my experience on like when I found out that it was an ectopic pregnancy and actually came to the terms with I was losing this baby, right? Because those are actually two different moments for me. Like hearing that it was an ectopic pregnancy was like, damn, okay. But really coming to the terms with the idea that I would lose this baby was like a different experience for me, right? So the doctor came in and she said it was an ectopic pregnancy, therefore it had to be terminated because there was nothing we could do to save it, right? So I'm like, okay. So I was very like, I don't know, like robotic, like, okay, yep, got it. Do you have any questions? Nope, I'm good, you know? But as I'm walking to the emergency room, or we were like walking back to the car so that we could go to the other side of the hospital for the emergency room, irritation set in and like frustration because, you know, we have been trying to get pregnant from August 2017 until 2019, right? And, so it was a long time. It was over a year. So the idea of, you know, all that work, right? All that work we put in to get pregnant, we weren't going to have any results. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was just irritated. Like we tried and we finally got it. And, you know, and we were super excited, y'all, as you can imagine, after having tried for so long. So I was very, very frustrated, very irritated. I felt, I don't know, like, not that I had failed, but just like everything was a waste of time. And then I'm the type of person that I detach myself from situations. So like, I'll become very indifferent with a situation. And with this particular instance, I couldn't become indifferent because I was so emotionally attached. But I kind of, for a second, just detached, like, I'm going to just do what I need to do. But underneath that was, like, a sense of, like, defeat, if that makes sense. You know, so I became very, like, agitated also. Like, why are you trying to cut me open? Nope, she said I was just gonna get a shot. Now you telling me I gotta have surgery? Like, y'all tripping. I watch Grey's Anatomy. I know surgeons just be trying to cut people. It don't necessarily have to be that way. You don't have to cut me. You know what I'm saying? But I think that that was all stemmed from, like, I'm just so mad that I even have to be here. Like, I have shit to do. I don't want to be here. No. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, I was giving them a hard time about even having taken the medication before they knew that they had to have surgery, that I had to have surgery. I was giving them a hard time about the medication because I was like, well, I can't come back in 4 days because I'm going to be out of town. I got to go. So I don't know what to tell y'all, what y'all want to do, you know, and it's just making it difficult. Just being like a difficult patient, you know what I'm saying? And it really, you know, looking back on it, it really just stemmed from the fact that I was just so frustrated with the situation in itself. Okay? When it comes to like coping, right? I had to pray. And you guys, I prayed with like every ounce of my soul. Do you understand me? Because I just had to realize like there's nothing I can do about it. It's out of my control, but I genuinely do believe that all things work together for the good of those who love God. You know what I'm saying? And so I just felt like this is still for my good. And I know it may sound ironic to some people, but I felt like God still has to get the glory out of this situation. You know what I'm saying? And the only way that I'm actually going to be able to see that and to receive that is to just drop to my knees and pray. So my husband and I prayed. Like I shared before, I called my spiritual daddy. And I just prayed. And you guys, so I'm on the hospital bed and there's a chair right here. And I promise you, I felt like Jesus was sitting right in that chair and he was just comforting me and letting me know like, y'all are okay. I'm here with y'all. Like, I have not left you guys. You guys are going to be okay. You guys are going to, you know, make it through this. And he revealed to me that we are going to get pregnant again. And and I think that that's helping with the whole coping, is that I'm living with expectancy. Like, I know we're going to get pregnant again. So, you know, that really it really helped, especially in the moment leading up to the surgery. So, I mean, again, as far as coping goes, really just my faith really got me through it. Or is getting me through it, right? Because it's still like an uphill battle, I feel, because we're still trying to get pregnant. But then also I'm the type of person that like I seek knowledge in like everything, especially things that I don't have closure with, or things that I don't fully understand. And so like it happened really suddenly, you guys. Like I went for a routine checkup for this pregnancy to find out how far along I was, which by the way, I was 5 weeks and 5 days. I just went to find out how far along I was, and a routine pregnancy, and I left not pregnant and without a right fallopian tube. So everything happened super fast, and I don't know, like my mind needed to be able to wrap around it. So I was off work for a week, and during that week I probably read like everything I could find online about ectopic pregnancies. I read different journal articles in medical journals regarding the surgery that I had, which was a salpingectomy, when they take out your fallopian tube. I read journal articles on that. I read journal articles on research that was done on like women that got pregnant, or like after having an ectopic pregnancy, or after having a salpingectomy, and things like that. So like I read so much information on this, and it really did help me. It kind of gave me some closure again, because it helped me to understand like what I had just experienced. Another question is, so what are my husband and me doing now to get pregnant? Having lots of sex. No, like we are, but it's like strategic though. It's strategic sex. So, you know, we're just, you know, we make sure to have sex during my fertile window. Yeah, so that's pretty much all we're doing. And I continue to pray about our unborn child and for our unborn child, because again, I believe that we are going to get pregnant again. So I'm just living, you know, in expectancy. Like I'm just living knowing that I'm going to get pregnant. And that's pretty much it. We're just going to get pregnant, you know, the old fashioned way. All right. So that covers pretty much the questions that was asked of me and kind of the topics. But I do want to leave you guys with some encouragement, ladies and gentlemen. Right. If you've experienced an ectopic pregnancy or a miscarriage, or, you know, some type of infertility, or you've been trying to get pregnant for a while and you haven't, first and foremost, I just want to encourage you to breathe, right? And encourage you to enjoy the journey, because I know from experience that every month that you get your period, sometimes it can be so discouraging. It can be frustrating. I don't think like people like trying to get pregnant and then seeing my period every month, it was just so like defeating, and you feel just kind of like beat down month over month over month. So I just want to encourage you guys, like, don't allow yourself to become defeated in this journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, just hold on to, you know, your hope, like that you will get pregnant. And if you believe in Jesus, if you believe in God, I encourage you to continue to pray. Keep praying for your child. Thank him, you know, for your child, right? Like, thank him in advance, because it's gonna come. You know what I mean? Your baby is going to come. And so, you know, what I do is like, I just continue to thank him every single day for our unborn child. And, you know, just really believe and hold on to my faith and what was revealed to me in the hospital, that we're gonna get pregnant again, you know. So guys, also ladies, try to release some of that control. I know for me, I'm a very controlling person, and this trying to get pregnant is very frustrating because I can't control it. If I could, I would take the sperm, take the egg, and boom, I'd be pregnant. But because I can't, I had to learn, or I'm learning to like let go and just enjoy it. Like, not make sex like a business transaction, or, you know, I know it can also be easy to kind of envy people who are pregnant, right? I know that I would see people, they would share that they were pregnant, and I'm looking like, girl, you don't even want the baby. Or look at your situation. You shouldn't bring no baby into that. Or like, why is everybody getting pregnant and I'm not? You know what I mean? Like, those thoughts can run through your mind. And you have to just check yourself. Like, one, learning to genuinely be happy for people, not judging their situation. Like, that don't have nothing to do with you, right? I had to learn, like, that ain't got nothing to do with me, right? I'm just trying to get pregnant and I want to be in that same situation, right? But it's easy for us to allow our flesh to kind of jump out. So like, try not to like look at other people's situation and then allow it to discourage you, or even worse, allow it to make you become a person that you aren't, right? Like a hateful or envious person. But, you know, and then also, lastly, if you are trying to get pregnant, I encourage you to live as if you've received your blessing already, right? So, like, if you're trying to get pregnant, live like you're pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Eat healthy, exercise, stop drinking, stop smoking. Stop smoking. We all know that cigarettes are bad. So, hands down, like, you probably shouldn't be smoking cigarettes at all. But if you smoke weed, and not just the ladies, the men, this is very important. This is what I learned. If you smoke weed, men, it reduces sperm count and it also slows down your sperm. Okay? So they swim slower, they tire out, I guess, and then they fall off. Like, they die before they even reach the egg. Right? So weed, even though I believe that it has a lot of healing properties, it does have some adverse effects, specifically when it comes to fertility. Okay, so live like you want and are expecting and have received that very thing that you're asking God for. So I don't want to make this any longer because I'm already at like 25 minutes, but thank you so much for tuning into this. I hope that it encourages you guys. I hope that I was able to answer all of the questions that you asked. And I'm going to be praying for all these couples and women and men who are trying to get pregnant, because we finna get pregnant in 2019. We finna just have babies everywhere, all 2019. Okay, so thank you. God bless.